Does Contain Nuts, the podcast that grabs life by the balls. I'm Phil Highland. Lee Hogarth is over there. How you doing, Lee?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good.
Wicked. For the visual lot out there, you'll see that there's a third face on the screen today. We've got a guest, another guest, and there's the voice for the audio lot. His name is, what's your name, mate? Tell us your name.
Ben Dunne. My name's Ben Dunne.
What do you do, Ben Dunne?
So I'm a cab driver. I'm entrepreneur, businessman. I've got my own equine centre, so we trade in horses as well.
Wicked.
Bit unusual.
A black cabbie, right?
Yeah, I'm a black cab driver, London black cab driver by trade, yeah.
Yeah, London black cab driver and equine, which for people like Lee means horses. Black cabbie and horses. That's quite a combination, mate. I've never met anyone like you.
Transport.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's in the transport business.
Listen, don't kill it. Yeah, let me explain one thing. I'm very unique, right?
Yeah,
so it gives me an opportunity. Black Cab has given me an opportunity to be able to go off and be an entrepreneur in other businesses. I love horses. I started the business in horses, and it's exploded into this little empire of mine. So and I do both of them. I still love both of them. I love getting in the cab and being in London, but equally, I love being part of horses. So I've got the best of both worlds, right?
How good is that? And you're smiling when you talk about your work, mate. And that is something that not many people do.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. And I think it's so important, right, to get up in the morning. And if you can love doing what you do, and I know you guys love doing what you do, right, it makes you smile, right?
Yeah, man, 100%. Just before we get into anything, how did you get into horses?
So I got into horses slightly at a younger age. Obviously, I lived in London. And then about 10 years ago, I moved a little bit quicker going up into the countryside. And that's where it kind of, the passion started to ignite inside me. And I was just like, right, I want more of this. I love it. I really enjoy it. And then I was a bit rusty. And then I started riding again. And listen, the story just goes from there. I'm one of these people, you probably know when we were talking, if I'm in, I'm 100% in. So I was like, I'm not doing it a little bit, I'm flying at it. And that's what I've done.
Yeah, balls deep into that bastard. Also, can I just say, it's nice to have another Southern accent on this podcast.
Well, this
normally,
is what I mean.
It's
mate,
wicked.
I'm surrounded by fucking Northerners and Scots and stuff like that at the moment. So it's nice to hear another voice.
Yeah, mate. And talking about being 100% all in, balls deep and that, just before we come on here, you told us that you'd fallen off a horse this morning. And what did you say then?
So I specialise in safe, sensible, round horses. So this is one of my own horses. This isn't one for sale. And this morning it decided to throw me on the floor. So when we leave this podcast, I'm going to A&E to get this arm checked out. Yeah. But I'm 100% committed to being here. And I was excited to be here, so I'm here.
That's what I'm talking about. See, man's fallen off his horse, broke his arm potentially, and he's still here on the Does Contain Nuts podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's more committed than you are, Lee.
He bloody is. There's me sitting there eating a bowl of yogurt, Cheerios and Ice Gems before we come on.
I know. We had to wait, didn't we, while you were chomping away? Yeah.
We sat here, the three of us, not saying anything, so we didn't spoil the podcast for ourselves, whilst Lee up there munched a bowl of Cheerios, yogurt and Ice Gems.
Lads, I'll tell you one thing. I'm very grateful to be here as well. Thank you for inviting me.
No worries, man.
Yeah, I'm pumped to be here with you.
It's good to have you on here. So we all kind of know each other, don't we? Me and Lee, I think you're the same as me, Lee, met you at a night in what was I trying to say? Event in Sunderland, part of the Unstoppable Bastards that me and Lee used to be part of, and you're still part of. Actually, I won an award that night, which you may just see. Oh, that's embarrassing. It's just behind my shoulder there.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like a kid sitting at the table with you boys, right? You'd been in it for a while.
Around the block, yeah.
You've been around the fucking block. I was very new to it then, and still am very new to it as well.
So was that when you joined there, when we met you? Was that your first
no
kind of thing into this personal development game, or
no, definitely not. So I got into the personal development probably in June 2018. I started playing about in it then, and I've read Paul's book, and I went through the stages of how you get up to being in alliance. And yeah, mate, I'm not trying to blow smoke up his arse, but my business and me have exploded to a new fucking level. Yeah, so the development side's been amazing.
Love that. Love that. This is Paul Mort we're talking about, because I know we keep mentioning his name, Paul, but Paul Mort, right?
The world famous Paul Mort.
The world famous Paul Mort, yeah.
I better say that, because I'll be out the programme otherwise.
I know, mate. He'll be on the phone, won't he? Why didn't you say that?
Coach of the year. Yeah, I'll get a text message, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What would you say? So since 2018, you started to upgrade yourself a little bit in that. What would you say has been the biggest improvement in yourself that you've seen, and how has that impacted your life? Quite a good question.
I think it's a great question that you ask, right? I think having clarity on what my week, my day, my month looks like, I'm very clear what the day looks like now. Where before I was one of these guys that was constantly focused on making money, but I really lacked the capability of balance throughout my whole life. And I think that's what having the personal development has really given me. But yeah, clarity on what my day, my week and my year looks like. Yeah.
Nice. Like that.
It's very important that that me getting clear on what it is that I wanted out of life and who I wanted to be and who I wanted to become was a massive, massive turning point in my life. Like, for a lot of years, I spent a hell of a lot of time feeling lost. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And then I had so much energy. I was flying around like an idiot in all directions. But then once I got clear, I was going, you wake up in the morning and you know where you're pointing. You know what you're looking at. You know where you're going, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive part of that. Massive.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, that's a really big part. And I, by doing the journaling and doing my daily activities and my morning routines and stuff like that, it really gets me set on point now. So getting back to before, I was quite very lost I was very focused on making money, but I was very lost in where to look after myself and look after my mental state as well. And at that time, I was in a very dark place 6 months previous to meeting you guys.
Yeah.
So what sort of things do you do? So you say that you've got routines there, you've got things in place. What does your day look like? What does your routines look like?
Yeah, it's a great question again. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, and then I start my stealth because I've got quite high anxiety as well and problems with sleeping. So I start off my day where I'll have a shower, get changed, go downstairs. I'll start my meditation. I do 10 minutes of guided meditation, and I do 10 minutes or 2 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. I have a coffee. Some people don't advise it, but I love a coffee in the morning, let the dogs out, all that kind of stuff. Then I'll get nose deep into my journal for about 15 minutes. Ask myself a load of the usual questions, what kind of challenges I'm going to be up against today. If there's anything that I know that's going to be a challenging conversation, I'm getting myself prepared for that as well. And then once I've done my journaling, normally, and I've had some breakfast, mate, at 7 o'clock, the rest of the world is getting out of bed and I'm fucking on fire. You don't want to talk to me.
You're ready for it.
Mate, at 7 in the morning, I am like a lunatic, like ready to crush the day to another level. Yeah.
I love that, honestly, man. What is it? So just to touch upon, because I'm curious here. So you said that you use a guided meditation.
I do, yeah.
What kind of, do you use a YouTube one or?
Yes, I go on YouTube. I'll tell you why. Because the thing is, with meditation, right, your mind sometimes, people try and clear their mind. They can't do that, right? My mind's a little bit overactive anyway. So I'm end up having like a board meeting in my head at that time in the morning. So with the guided meditation, it just gives me that little bit more focus to able to pull myself back and just sit there. And at first I thought it was a load of old crap, to be honest. But I'll tell you something now, it's been a game changer for me. A game changer completely.
I think a lot of guys, at the risk of sounding a little bit sexist, I think a lot of guys feel like you hear the M word, meditation, what the fuck, I've got to sit there in orange robes, it's for doing grow dreads. Do you know what I mean? That's bullshit, ain't going to work for me. But I know I've said this, Lee, me and you say it on every podcast we do, don't we? That it's I think it's the most powerful tool in the box of keeping your mental state on point. And it's training, right? Everyone trains their physical self. A lot of people don't bother training their mental self, which is bizarre because that's where the feelings come from, and feelings basically.
Well, we don't make time, do we? We don't give ourselves that moment. We think we're always in a rush, and we think by meditating, we haven't got time to meditate. But you know what? I get all my morning rituals done. I get everything done every single morning. And it probably takes me like 45 minutes, an hour to get everything like on point. And I've got time to have breakfast and do normal family kind of stuff, and then out the door, and I'm ready. And it's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, man. What do you so are you cabbing at the moment? Obviously, now it's lockdown. Right. It must be a bit weird for what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, to explain to you. So literally, some days my equine business will require more of me, and I need to be there. But I'm kind of learning how to put things in place where other people are doing certain things for me, so I'm able to be a bit more freer with my time, so I can create new stuff for the business, and also for me to go into London. I love being a London cab driver, right? I'm very proud of it. You can drive around, you meet all celebrities, you chat to people, you meet all different walks of life. So I'm very proud of being a London cab driver, but I'm also very lucky that I can leave that this month coming ahead, because London's going to be very quiet in November, and I can use it as an opportunity to start growing even more in the equine world, and being a bit more of an icon within it, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What do you think about Uber?
You have to bring that in, fucker. Literally. Are you allowed to swear on this?
Say whatever you want, mate.
What do I think of Uber? I think Uber, right, as a businessman, I think they had a great opportunity to take the black cab trade, because it was very, very ancient in its aspects of not taking card, not using apps, all this kind of stuff. And what they done was, mate, they put people in there that didn't promote their business very well. So I think they've got a place in the market just like your local corner shop. But let's be honest, Marks and Spencer's, it's always got better food than your local corner shop, right? So
it's almost as if you've had this conversation before with people.
Funny enough, funny enough. I get a lot of people asking me that question.
Yeah, I bet.
It is, mate, listen, I believe I've trained in it, right? I'm very confident. And if you put your missus or your children in my cab, I'm fully committed to making sure I look after them above and beyond if we need to, getting them to school, getting them back. Mate, the black cab's an iconic thing in London, and just like my hat, it needs to fucking stay, right?
I agree with that, yeah. No, I agree, mate.
Yeah.
So just the question that I want to ask you, I'm interested to hear your answer to this. So obviously, cabbing, equine business, you're a busy bloke, right? And you mentioned a bit about anxiety earlier. When you do start to feel overwhelmed or stressed or anxious, because it all happens, no matter no matter who we are, we all do feel. We'd be morons to think that to say, oh no, we can get to a state where we never feel overwhelmed, because that's not being human, right? When that starts to creep in and sort of grab you by the balls a bit, what do you do? Have you got any strategies, any tools, anything that you just this is going to sort me out now?
Listen, do you know, the thing is, I used to get quite aggressive with people. I was in your face. I would tell you exactly what I thought of you very quickly. I think it's the defence thing, the London kind of thing as well. Yourself, like you grow up in environments where you've got to kind of look after yourself. So I've got that kind of, I like to nip things in the bud. But sometimes I now learn that I don't have to prove you wrong to make me right. Does that make sense? So I'm quite happy to kind of look at you, respect what you've just said, and kind of just take a deep breath and move on. I'll tell you what I do use, which I love, which you guys have probably heard of, especially the cab I use. It's the State app. Have you ever used the State app before on your phone?
I've heard of it. I've never used it personally, no.
Right, so it's just a breathing app, right? They do 3 or 4 different things. You can do 2 minutes at a time. If I'm really that triggered by something, I'll pull the cab over, or I'll get out and I'll have a walk and I'll do the State app, and it changes me like that, literally.
So is that just is that box breathing, is it?
No, it's basically, it's like a disc on the screen, and it will go in and out like on an iPhone, exactly the same thing. And there's different types of breathing and different levels of breathing and different speeds of breathing to kind of get you in different states, whether you want to relax, whether you want to get ready for bed, whether you want to be a bit more on point with your motivation and stuff like that as well.
Nice. So again, meditation, essentially, because it's the same, isn't it? Like meditation is breath work.
It's quick.
And saves the day.
Yeah, you need things. I don't know if you guys agree. Sometimes you need things that just quickly get you out of that. Like I've got these wristbands on that remind me certain things. Triggers.
Same here.
Like I love all that, mate. Yeah, I'm bang into that. Yeah, turned into a fucking hippie,
mate. I think most of us that have gone through.
I'm gonna be like this.
Yeah. I think most of us. I've said this before. Who have gone through some kind of program or whatever.
Yeah.
Have said, "Oh, I'm turning into a hippie." And I love that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Do you know what I mean? Hippies are lovely people. They smile all the time, and they just, all good.
Mate,
you know
I think it's because we've experienced the other extreme, haven't we? Like, we've experienced the high level anxiety, the craziness, the overwhelm, the hectic parts of life, and being bogged down by a lot of it as well. We've experienced that.
Yes.
And then now when we experience the other side, we're like, whew, it's like a proper escape from all of that craziness. It's like a total disconnect. And it's a beautiful break to have. It's a lovely place to step out and just recalibrate and recharge and refocus.
Funny you just say that, but you know, that's what I've been learning with the with like kind of breathe and recalibrate and deliver, with which we were just highlighting on, Lee, while you were chewing on your Cheerios or whatever you're on, with the Ollie Ollerton thing, you know, the where he gives you that little caption where, you know, you just have to, when you're in the SAS and you're about to kind of start shooting a gun and potentially kill people, right? You're in these situations, you need to sometimes stop, you need to breathe, and you need to recalibrate and deliver what you need to do. And I think that's a great little technique.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And it's a good analogy, and it's a good way to think about it as well. Like, some people might be listening and might think, but that's SES. People, like, he's got a serious job to do. He's got something really important to do. He's really got to be there. Yeah, it's different for them.
Yeah, I love
but really,
that.
essentially, the feeling's the same.
Yeah,
the feeling's the same, isn't it? Like, even us in this in normal day-to-day life, we experience that high-level anxiety, the same as what he's feeling, just he's going to blow some fucker's head off, and we're just going to walk into Tesco and buy a pineapple or something.
But we feel like that.
It's the same feeling,
the emotions
isn't it?
are the same. Yeah.
And you know what, guys? I don't know if you agree, right? It's all of these tools that you guys know and I'm learning and we're all learning and using. It's just practice, right? You know, the more I kind of welcome it now. Like, if someone wants to challenge me a little bit, I kind of welcome it, because I'm just like, right, I'm going to use some of these things to see if I'm actually as focused and calm as I think I am.
Yeah.
There's all. I think we're all the same, and with me, there's always situations where I kind of surprise myself both ways. So sometimes I'll surprise myself and think, fucking hell, I dealt with that well. That was just that flew past. But there's other times where that remind me that I've still not got a complete hold of how I feel. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And those times are the ones where whatever's going on is something that means a lot to me. Do you know what I mean? If it means a lot, then the emotion's high. It's harder to kind of keep a lid on it. You know?
Yeah.
But again, I think that's it's important to realise that these things are going to happen, and there's going to be situations in it where you're always going to have to work a little bit harder. And
do you find yourselves, because you guys have been in the game quite a while, right, of personal development, do you find yourselves looking around at the world, stressing and like kind of in different situations, and do you find yourself thinking, God, you know, I'm quite cool, I'm actually quite relaxed about this right now, I'm not as focused on different some of these people are melting at the moment, right?
Mate,
100%.
Yeah, I on that note, that's one of the biggest changes with me over the last probably, I don't know, 6 years, I say. For me, it's all about perceptions, and I've learned to perceive events completely differently. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like lockdown, I perceive it now as an opportunity for me, massive opportunity. To progress with loads of different things, right? Yeah. And I just see things completely differently. And that makes life so much easier. And I'm not just like, oh, let everything wash over me or anything like that. But it's like, right, hold on, I can look at this now as, I can't go to the pub, I can't go out, I can't do this, and piss and moan about it and put energy on what I don't want, how I don't want it to be. Or I can see it as an opportunity, right? How can I use this and enjoy myself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to go on for a long time, right? Let's face it.
It is, yeah.
We can either piss and moan about it and make ourselves more angry and het up and everything else.
Or make excuses.
Exactly, yeah. Play the victim.
It's that whole what you focus on grows, isn't it? If you're going to choose to focus on the doom and gloom of lockdown, of potentially maybe losing clients or not being able to see your family, like all those three here, we all understand that that's a bit shit. But we're not going to choose to. We've got an option here. We've got an option. Am I going to focus on that when it's not going to change anyway?
No.
Or am I going to focus on the fucking good? I'm going to use my perspective training to say, hang on a minute, I can focus on this shit situation or this good situation. It makes sense to focus on the fucking good because you can't change it anyway.
Yeah. And what you can control. You know, there's a lot of shit that I used to focus my life on that, mate, I had no control over, right? Like, I don't watch the news in the morning. It's not for me, all right? I don't watch the news. I don't want to get consistently tied up in it. I don't want to listen to LBC with fucking Sheila Fogarty talking shit down the thing.
The worst one of those, the worst one on LBC. Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Ferrari.
Nick Ferrari. No, James
May. Is it James May?
No, not James May. There's a guy, he's got a beard.
He's off Top Gear.
Yeah, not James May. There's another one. James, I'm sure it's James. And I find him, I don't listen to it much. My old man listens to LBC quite a lot.
Yeah.
And, oh man, I just think I would never, ever, ever want to have a conversation with you in real life.
It kills you because you're sitting there going, oh my God, my life's ending. Everything's going to, oh my God, my family. Mate, I would be like a fucking lunatic. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it used to kill me in the day. My chest, right? My skin. I've already got the paddy Irish skin anyway. I used to be like a red man. Do you know what I mean? From stress. Now, I don't turn the telly on, right? I'd rather listen to some tunes and get some music going and have a dance around the house, mate, make myself feel great. And then, do you know what? When I go out there, if I can have an impact on somebody that is feeling a bit shit, that gets in my cab or comes to buy a horse, mate, I feel fucking great about that.
Wicked.
It's that whole word choice. People don't realise that they have a choice. You literally have a choice.
Yeah.
Who's the better one, you know?
Yeah. But some people like the victim, don't they? They love it.
Oh, yeah. They're happy there. They're happy. It's their happy place. I was talking about this on a call last night. Like, for my mum, it's her happy place. She's got no intention to leave or stop watching the news. She's happy when she's worried.
Yes.
But people
she's
become addicted
it
to
as
that,
the norm.
right? Addicted to the feeling of worry.
That's what I was just going to say. It's that feeling, isn't it? And it's that it's like, I think Paul says anxiety is very close to excitement, isn't it? And it's the same that they can experience it the opposite way. So when we're anxious, we can often say like, oh, it's just excitement. We can reframe it as excitement and we can start to feel a little bit better and our thoughts can change a little bit. But also, I think what's happening, my mum does it the other way. She's like, I'm excited, brilliant, I'm anxious, I love it. She's like, I'm anxious, bring it on, give me more anxiety. Let's put Loose Women on after this. This is going to make me feel even more anxious. I cannot wait.
Loose Women just makes me feel angry, man.
You want to get you just want to do them, don't you?
Yeah, I cannot watch that program, mate. Jesus Christ.
Mate, here's the thing that I always think about. Do you know when we were talking about the news there before? Like, how are they not fucked? All these news readers, though, they're like, they still look quite calm. They just got very good masks. They're probably acting quite a bit. But they're always smiling. They're always showing up.
Yeah, I reckon
they're telling you the world's shittest fucking things.
I reckon they do a massive line before they get.
I was just going to say that. I reckon, and then they come off and they're already racked up and they're down in shots as soon as they're off the set.
I've got to tell you something, right, about this lockdown. Normally, with this lockdown, I would be pissing and moaning to you, right? I would be closing everything down. I'd be forgetting about it. And one thing I would be doing is boozing. 100%. I'd be having a bottle of wine a night and I would be feeling like shit in the day and convince myself after lunch that I feel great. So I haven't done a lot of boozing at all over this time. And it's had a major, even though I enjoy having a drink, it's had a real good impact on me not boozing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What in what way? What's the biggest?
I think energy and brain fog. I call it brain fog. Like my mind, just even though I think I feel great, it feels like there's some barrier in front of me constantly when I've had a drink the next day. When I haven't had a drink, I just feel like I make better decisions and not so much erratic decisions. And I am one of these guys that's kind of all in. I'm either drinking or I'm not drinking. So I can't really do just one glass of wine. I have to do a bottle of wine. If I can't really have one beer, I have to have 4 beers. Do you know what I mean? The drinking thing has been a big thing for me.
Have you knocked it on the head totally?
So what I do is I do breaks. So I haven't had a drink. So I've done so far I've done about 60 days. I'm not going to have a drink until the Wednesday before Christmas, I think like the 23rd. So then I'll treat myself. So I kind of I do it. I'll have a break, a couple of months break, and then I'll hit it again. But listen, I love having a beer. Love having a bottle of wine. But I just seem to creep back into them old little habits again, and it's not going to serve me over this lockdown. Do you know what I mean?
It creates it's that like reaction versus response, isn't it? It's like when you're drinking, it's just always reaction. It's like snappy moments or reactions in terms of feelings, anxiety, or reacting to the environment, reacting to what's around you. Versus when you don't drink, everything's a lot clearer and you respond to the situation. You're just like, oh, all right, I see it for what it is. I see it from different angles as well. This is what I'm going to do. And you take a nice confident step forward. Whereas again, when you've been drinking a lot, it's a I hope this works, and you're like, I know I need to move forward, but I'm just going to jump, and I'm not that confident about it. And you jump forward, and you're a bit apprehensive, and
you doubt yourself. Your
doubts there, and you're just feeling like a shadow of yourself, isn't it?
And do you know what? When you're in business or any form of life with your family, it just doesn't look great. You know, I always try and think now, if I was looking at me with my behaviour, would I be proud of looking at that person? You know, sometimes, and some of the things that I've done and reacted to, sometimes I just think, what a dickhead, do you know what I mean? And now I try and look at myself and think, would I be happy looking at that person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What do your pals, your mates think about your personal development journey? Have you changed your circle of friends as you've changed yourself? Because I know a lot of people that have come through my group and my programs, my academy, and that sometimes there's a bit of an issue with circle of friends, and the sentence pops up like, Phil, I'm seeing things differently now, but my mates aren't seeing things how I see it. It's causing a bit of this. Like, have you experienced any of that?
I think I have. I mix with a lot of people that done, you know, a lot of different, you know, bits and bobs that they should be doing, really. I have experienced it, and I think if they're true friends, they will understand that you're on a journey that you need to do for yourself. I will be honest with you. I think Paul mentions in his that, you know, you shouldn't really get rid of your circle here, but I am a believer, if someone is constantly doing something that is going to lead you down the wrong path, I am a believer sometimes you need to take responsibility and pull yourself back a little bit, and and surround yourself with people that want kind of the same thing, if not more than you do. Yeah,
I agree. It's like that whole, we can train ourselves to get good at dealing with triggers and dealing with people and situations, but sometimes just eradicate the trigger completely. Sounds like saying to kill people. Don't kill anyone. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? If you've got a friend in your set, so I'll give you an example, right? So I'm on a 90-day kind of no booze thing, and I'll let everybody know, right? So I'll go public on Facebook, I'll chat to my mates, I say, and they'll probably go, oh, that's a shame, you know, because I wanted to go out for a beer with you. But you know what? They're cool with me and they respect me. And actually, I'm going out for dinner tonight, and we won't have a drink, right? We'll just have it. Listen, I'd quite happily order a beer, but I don't want to order, and they won't order a beer. But if they did want to order a beer, I'd be cool with it. But I would rather try and not surround myself with someone that's constantly putting it under my face. Go on.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I do think you need to surround yourself with people that hopefully are respectful of your journey.
Yeah, man.
I think as you get older as well, like your circle does start to diminish quite a bit, and you do realize like some people aren't meant to be in your life for all of your life. Some people are meant to just be there for a short period of time, or sometimes like a mid-range of time. And they're there to teach you something. You're there to experience something with them. And then you take whatever you learn or take whatever it is from them and apply it to your life as you move forward. Like, and as you get older, like I've noticed myself, like I've had this big conflict in terms of with my mates, because my group of mates, there's like 20 odd of us or something, and we've knocked about with each other since we're like 10, 11 years old. So like 20 odd years. And for me, I'm kind of like, I know what they do doesn't serve me. I know what they do doesn't, like some of them, obviously, what they do isn't what I want to do, but I sometimes struggle to let go. But you have to, though, don't you? You have to be like, you can't just keep dropping in and dropping out and messing with your own emotions and your own life. You've you've got to kind of just look and say, do you know what do I want from life? Are they giving me it? If they're not, who will? What for? There's more people out there. There's more friends out there. There's more acquaintances you can make who are going to pick you up rather than pull you down. And you just got to search for those and know that when you're on this journey as well, you're going to bump into these people. You're going to make new friends. You're going to meet new people who are going to, again, like you said, respect your journey, respect your decisions, and support you and drive you forward, like, and pick you up. And you got to spend the time, you got to spend your time wisely with people like that. Especially when you invest in so much time and energy into your own journey, right?
I think so, yeah. And I think it's, you know, for that moment of pleasure, I think it just, you know, it's not worth it. You know, for me, it's not worth it. I enjoy drink and I enjoy other things in life, but I think you need to surround yourself with people that are going to make you happy, make you smile, inspire you. And most of all, as I said, and I do say it a lot, is respect you for who you are, what your journey is.
Yeah, definitely. It is funny as well, because I used to put these like barriers in my way in front of me, and I'd tell myself that, I can't do this because my pals are going to laugh at me. I can't do this because they're going to take the piss. Do you know what I mean? And then you start putting it out there, and lo and behold, they start coming to you saying, Phil, you bang on about meditation. I'm stressed as fuck, mate. Can you teach me how to do it, please? Tell me a bit more about this journaling you talk about. Tell me about training, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're like,
it's infectious.
It is, massively. It's infectious. People see you as a lighthouse, right? They look at you and see, right, hold on, he's changed. He's way calmer than he used to be. I want some of that. Mate,
do you know,
without preaching.
When I'm in the taxi, right? When I'm in the cab and I meet someone who's got some shit going on, because, you know, it's like your hairdresser, right? They you know, you talk shit to your hairdresser. They do it with cab drivers. They tell you the whole fucking life story. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes I get to practice and kind of not preach. I'm not trying to preach to anyone, but I get to practice what I've learned, right? And try and help them. And it's amazing how many people are so grateful when they get out there, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Even down to a little thing of me saying, look, have you tried the State app? Have you looked at Wim Hof? Have you read the Byron Katie book? Have you done this? And they're like, bam, they're just blown away by it. And they're like, do you know what? This is the best cab training I've ever had. Like,
how good is that? Yeah.
How fucking great is that? But I made them happy, right? And I think if you can have what I love at the moment, and I suppose you guys buzz off this, if you can have an impact on people, I'm not saying preach, but if you can help somebody, I think, mate, it's the best drug in the world.
It's easy, isn't it? That when you say preach as well, it's like when you find something amazing, it's like when you find something new or something, it's I'd imagine it like a gamer. I'm not a gamer, but like if a gamer, a new FIFA come out and they got it first, they'd be like, get new FIFA, you got to try this, it's amazing. Like it's the same when we have this information, we kind of want to just share it because it's so exciting and it can make such a difference to your life and make such an impact in your life. Yeah. But you can't always share it to everyone because they don't want to hear it.
They're not ready yet. They're not ready. Yeah. Right? We know that. Yeah. Right? We've been there, haven't we? We've been there. Of course we have. We're not ready yet. Do you know what I mean?
I remember times, man, when like I was just starting to learn some of this stuff and it was obviously having a massive impact on us. And every time I was still drinking a lot then, but I was like going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when I was going away for weekends and things, I would be like, my mates would be drinking and cracking on, and I'd be standing talking to some bloke telling them about fucking the law of attraction or telling them about all this stuff. And they're like, he doesn't want to know, man, come on. I'm like, he does. And his face is, he's sick of his life. I've just talked the lips of him. But I used to try and force it on people, but you can't.
No, I don't.
They have to come to you and they have to ask for help. You gotta be open to help, don't you? Open to new perspectives.
Do you ever find
open to different ways?
Do you ever find that people want the magic potion, the instant fix? Do you find that a lot with what you do?
Oh, 100%, because like it's comes from everything in society though right now, isn't it? Like you got your Facebook. If you don't like a video, all you got to do is just scroll up. The next video will be there for you until you do like a one. When you go onto YouTube, there's always a recommended video for you that you're gonna like, and everyone expects to get what they want now.
Everything's
even
instant.
everything's instant. Like even kids now, like
instant.
starting old a little, sound a bit old, yeah, but like, they're more spoiled now. They want what they want, and they want it now. There's a lot of Veruca salts are on the rise. You know what I mean? It seems everyone's like a Veruca salt. I want it now. I don't want just a 50 quid pair of trainers. I want 190 quid pair of trainers so I can fucking play football on the field with them. And they want it now, but it's conditioning people to want things now, and it's learning them that actually they can get it now.
Yeah.
But when it comes to self-development or trying to improve yourself and learning how to be able to self-medicate, essentially, not with medication, but with tools and strategies that we use, like, it takes a lot longer. And I think that's why medication's on the rise, actual tablet form medication. Like, people would way rather prefer just to say, I can't be asked to do any of that shit. I'm going to go to the doctors and get a tablet. But what they don't realize is you're getting that tablet. It's a bit like a plaster. Like, it's only going to see you while you put that tablet in your mouth. That's the only time it's going to help you, unless you resolve the situations. Like, some people think I've got a gripe against tablets and medication, and I haven't, because I've experienced all areas of it. Like, I always say, I'd rather do this than take medication, 100%, because that puts me in control of how I feel. That means that I changed how I want to feel. I was in control. If I take medication, I'm not in control. It's down to the medication that does that. Now, a lot of people that I see will get the medication from the doctor, not change anything in their life, and as soon as they come off medication again, they're depressed, so they go back onto the medication. Now, what I see the medication that you get from a doctor as is a little bit of a break. And this is what it should be. And this is what they should be explaining it as. They should be sitting there and saying, listen, you're going through a tough time now. I totally understand it. Now, there's some certain things that are probably causing this tough time. It may be your thinking. It may be situations in your life. It may be something that's happened in the past, whatever it may be. I'm going to give you this tablet. It's going to ease your anxiety, or it's going to ease your depression slightly. It's going to make you feel a little bit better or feel a little bit different. And when I give you this tablet, and when you feel that little bit better, I want you to try and work on those situations. I want you to try and resolve those situations. And then when we take the tablets away, that situation or them thinking patterns or them emotional behaviors, they won't be there, and you'll feel spot on. You'll feel better, and you'll learn from what you've done, and you'll be able to apply that to your life as you move forward. Like, that's how it should be. You
need to be a GP. Fuck me. I tell you, honestly, honestly, like, what you just said there is 100%, mate. I'm with you 100%. I've been on every pill you can think of. I've got bipolar. I've seen every fucking psychiatrist you can come from. And I'll be honest, you know, mate, medication's never done me any favours. In fact, medication has suppressed me so much that I, in fact, didn't even have an opinion. I felt like I was in a bubble and the world was going on around me. I was an angry little fuck, and I was looking outside this bubble, and I had no opinion. No one was listening to me. It made me feel very, very, very lonely and ill, to be quite honest. So I have got a problem with medication. I think medication has its place, but I think there's a lot more with personal development. People like yourselves and me talking to guys and trying to get that point across that this is a temporary fix, this is a break, and you've got to change your life and learn what goes in your eyes, in your mouth, and your ears is very important.
And the other thing as well, talking about instant gratification and meds and pills will give you an instant quick fix, right? Let's not make any, like, get it twisted, but some of the stuff that we talk about, meditating, exercise, changing your routines, will give you an instant fix. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to cure you. It's not going to pull you out of the fucking depths of depression. But if you go from, you know, getting up at the last minute before work, never having a shower, not, you know, eating shit every single day, to then all of a sudden overhauling your morning routine and nighttime routine, implementing a few simple tasks, I guarantee you'll feel different. Do you know what I mean? Straight away. I guarantee
100%.
And I would put money on that. I would challenge anyone whose lifestyle is pretty bad, and they're not feeling where they want to be, to just do this but do it properly. Don't piss about. Say, I'll do a bit of this, bit of that, bit of that. Do it properly, And you will feel different straight away. And then you'll feel different by something that you've done, not something that someone has given you to take. Do you know what I mean?
And
like, I've done that.
I think personal development, when you start investing in it, and obviously you've got skin in the game and you've got money there, right? You can be given as many tools as you want, right? But if you don't use them and implement them, then there's no point. Yeah,
hey, you go to any bookshop, the self-help section is massive, full of books. We've got Google. Everyone's got the answers. But everyone is still so fucked, and that's because they're not doing it.
That's the thing as well, like talking about GPs as well. It's routine for them to prescribe medication.
Yes.
But really what it should be is it should be routine for them to prescribe routine. Imagine you go to the doctors, they're like, okay, have a little listen, hear what the issues are, and just be like, I've got the perfect antidote. There you go. Print off a morning routine.
Yeah.
This is your prescription. This is your prescription right now.
Do you know what?
When you wake up, first thing you're gonna do, instead of taking acetylopram or sertraline, you're gonna have a pint of water. You're gonna get moving. You're gonna change how you feel. You're gonna get the blood pumping. You're gonna write down 3 things that you're gonna do that day to make sure you have a fucking.
The trouble is that I'll jump in on that. The trouble with that is if someone comes in highly anxious, highly depressed, right? It will be very hard to say, here's a printout, go and do this.
Yeah,
I don't think that would work.
They'd have to quote it in gold. They'd have to quote it in gold.
No, listen. What about if you went into a GP where you've got a 15-minute kind of appointment? They haven't got time, right? Yeah. You then got said, don't worry, go and sit in the waiting room, and we've got 3 or 4 guys like us in different rooms waiting for people like this to get them on these routines, changing their habits, helping them. That's the answer. Because
time is the problem. Like my mum's she's a nurse, and she tells me all about time. People, it's like slots.
Yeah,
you've got to get rid of them. You've got to get rid of the patients. So
here's the pills.
Take this. Go. See you later. Yeah.
What would you say? Because a lot of listeners are going to be saying, well, there is that because there's counselling, right? Obviously, we know the waiting list of counselling is massive. Have you had any experience with counselling yourself, Ben?
Yeah, I have.
What were your thoughts on it and its effectiveness, and how did you
They never got it, mate. They never got it. You know, they never got it. I literally, I'm speaking to someone on the phone, and they just never grasped what I wanted. I need to be face to face, and I need somebody that's kind of a role model to kind of help me. You know what I mean? And believe me, in 2018, I felt suicidal. You know, I had everything on the outside. If you looked at Facebook, I looked like I've got everything, and life was great, and I was your best friend after a bottle of wine. But on the inside, I was dying.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to these people on the phone, and I just didn't get it. So if I had the opportunity to go into a room with somebody that could say, listen, Ben, look, you know, this is what you've got to do, and I need to see you again in 2 or 3 days, and this is what I need you to do. Mate, I would have gone away and seen it as like I got homework and I needed to do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I 100%. So I experienced a lot of, like, I'd done CBT, I had like a private counsellor and all of that. And what I found was, because I had a lot of issues with my brother, right? And all I found was every time I turned up, they were just bringing up these issues with my brother. And I'm thinking, I'm the one with the problem, and I'm like, I'm struggling. I want to keep talking about my brother and talking about all these situations. And then, so I'd go in feeling, say, a 5, if we give it a rating. I was going in a 5. I wasn't proper low. I wasn't high. I'd go in a 5. Then they start bringing up all this shit in the past and bringing up all this shit about my brother and all this. I was leaving like a fucking 2. And then I was about a 2 or a 1 or 2 for the next fucking week. And then maybe got to the weekend and I might have picked myself up a little bit. And then I'd have my next fucking appointment to fucking bring us back down again. And it made us feel weaker and more powerless and more of a victim. In my own experience, like that, this was my experience. That might have been because of the counsellor that I had, or the people who I was dealing with, or I might have been assigned to the wrong things. I don't know. Obviously, it works for some people, or it wouldn't be there. Yeah, but that was my experience of it, and I totally agree. If I was to go into a room with somebody who I actually believed had experienced, because this is what we're talking about here. We've been there. We fucking know how it feels. We know what it feels like to wake up with knots in your stomach when you wake up in the morning. What it feels like a lot of the time, or what it did for me, was when I walked into that room, she just had her fucking head in her fucking notepad, or she was looking up index fucking 221 and checking out anxiety fucking 101 and read a couple of little notes. She knew what she was going to say before I've even fucking told her how I felt. I sit down, tell her how I feel. Okay, this is what you need. And it wasn't like, it come from a place, you can see it in somebody's eyes. You can see it in the body language when they understand and when they have felt how you have felt. A lot of the time when I walked into there, I was like, you haven't fucking felt, you have no idea. If only I could, if only I had the language skills, the communication skills to be able to tell you exactly how I fucking feel, like that's when we could get somewhere. But when I was anxious as hell and when I was fucking in that place, I didn't have the language, I didn't have the communication, I couldn't portray exactly how I felt. But if she had felt it herself, I wouldn't have to do that. She'd be like, you know what, Lee? I've been there myself. I know exactly what you mean. When you wake up in the morning, you feel this. When you go to bed, you feel this.
Yeah.
And you would get that connection, and you'll be way more likely to do the things that they say, but you'd be way more likely and more successful to helping yourself and creating a better life for yourself, because you're being told by somebody who has been there and fucking got out the other side. A lot of the time, what I've experienced is they haven't fucking felt how you feel. They haven't fucking been there. They are just saying, oh, this symptom equals this. Sometimes it fucking doesn't. Yeah. So speaking to people who have fucking been there is one of the best things you can possibly do, who have been where you are and who are right now where you want to be. And if you deal with those people, you can get way better results, in my opinion.
Yeah, mate. Listen, I echo all of it. I don't know. You agree, Phil, with that? I 100% agree.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. There's people that are in my program, and all of them relate to me in some way, shape, or form. Do you know what I mean? Like one guy come in, and he said, "Mate, I heard that you used to be a drum and bass MC. You done pirate radio. I used to be a raver. I relate to you. Do you know what I mean?" I'm like,
I love that.
Come in, man. Do you know? It's just if you can relate to someone who can then tell you a story about them that you think that sounds a bit like me.
Yeah. And listen, that's what I've done with the program I'm on now, right? You know, I related to a scenario. I related to a video, some content that was put out there. I related to it and I put my hand out. But I tell you, the day that I put my hand out, I thought that person had the magic pill for me until I realised I have to put some effort in, I have to put time in, and it takes time to become the person you want to become, right?
Definitely, 100%.
People often forget, like, obviously I still work in, as well as my mindset business, I still work in the PT world, right? And changing people's bodies. And it's very, very similar. Now, there's a most of the people who I train with are like middle-aged, right? And they've practiced all of their life how to get fat. They've been practicing how to get unfit. They've been practicing all their fucking life to get to the point that they are at right now. And then they expect in fucking 3 weeks to learn how to fucking undo all of that. It doesn't work that way. You've got to fucking practice in your way of living. You've got to do it step by step. You can't.
Do you think coaches need to be a little bit more practical in giving people realistic kind of targets and realistic information because some people do perceive that they can go away and get a six-pack within 3 weeks, right? Where me and you know that's a load of bollocks, right? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like, but the problem we've got is everybody's in competition, and it's that fight, isn't it? Like, I don't join that fight in the PT world, but there's that battle for clients, that battle to be heard, like that, what people call the noise. It's just fucking noise upon noise all over the place.
It's
you
can
get a six-pack in 5 days. I can get one in 4 days. It's everybody undercutting. Yeah. Everyone's undercutting each other. But what they're doing is they're undercutting by delivering like over information that is incorrect. Everybody just went, okay, everyone, let's be truthful, and whoever people connect to, they go to. Like, I'd be happy to do that, me. Like, if you connect to me, come with me. Because we all have the same information. We all have we all know what to do. And we all know you can't get a six-pack from being fat as fuck in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. Like, people just need to be a bit more honest and a bit more like you say, a bit more realistic. And I
Thing
think
is as well,
like you're going to coach people from where they're at. And that's a massive thing. And that's a massive thing that I've learned in my own and being in different programs, like being coached for where you're at. Like some people will come in and they'll talk about, I want a 6-pack. You're like, that's not where you're at though. You're not like a month away from having a 6-pack. You're a month away from a fucking heart attack. Do you know what I mean? So you gotta start here, and we're gonna talk about how someone who's about to have a heart attack is gonna fucking lower the cholesterol or reduce the stress, reduce the high blood pressure, whatever it may be. And then we work our way in that direction. And you're gonna coach them from that specific area. Whereas I've got a program called the 12-week transformation. Will I transform your life? 100%. Will I get you from fat to skinny? No. Yeah. But I will change the habits that you do, and I'll make a difference in your life. And again, you've got to coach them from where they're at. But you've got to tell them that, look, you're going to start here. We may not get you a 6-pack then, but we are heading in that fucking direction. Let me know we are heading in that fucking direction. Right now, you're heading in no fucking direction. Or the direction to the hospital. Or you're heading in the direction to show your kids how to fucking become fat. Or how to become unhealthy, or how to live your life. You're standing here in front of me telling me you fucking hate your life, yet every single day you're showing your kids how to live that life. They're going, you're going to pop your clogs, and they're going to be standing in your fucking shoes. You're handing down your shoes.
I think you've highlighted a couple of things there which are great about giving people milestones. You know, is a big thing, right? So you can see where you can see yourself making progress, and you know you're in that direction, and you've got goals. But you do need somebody to kind of be on your case, you know, kind of push you when you need to be pushed, but not keep pushing about with you. You know, push you. You know, get on with it. If you want that, you want the results, you've got to put the work in, right?
Yeah,
I think that's also when, if as a coach, you need to be that lighthouse, don't you? You've got to be. I'm all up for people, you know, like PTs who are a bit out of shape. You can still be a decent coach if a PT if you're out of shape, I think, right? However, you still want people to look up to you. Do you know what I mean? You can have the knowledge. You can have the knowledge of how to lose body fat, how to get strong, whatever. But if you're living a lifestyle that people look at and say, I don't want to be like you, then that's not. I don't think that's you're not the role model. You're not providing the inspiration.
You practice what you preach, innit?
Yeah.
And I think people don't give the right information. You know, when they call you, they don't actually know what they want out of whatever training program you're doing. And without getting the right information out of somebody, it's very hard to give them the results that they want. Do you know what I mean?
And that's where being a good coach means you need to know how to ask good questions, right? That's what
world-class questions.
About. It's all about world-class questions, mate, as you know. Here's a question for you, mate. Go on, Lee. What are you going to say then?
Go on. I've got another question just on that same topic. Like, obviously, like me, Phil, we're coaches. You're a coach too, right? And we're talking about relative to PT stuff and that. I'd imagine, I'm going to get the word wrong, equine business is exactly the same, because you're going to have customers or clients who are wanting a specific horse with a certain personality or certain traits, and it's very the same, isn't it? Like those are coming up to you, and you've got to deliver a horse with that personality traits, movement patterns, or whatever it is. And
the problem I get is a lot of people. I've done a Facebook post about this. About, are you inspired by your coach? Is your coach pushing you in the direction you want to be in? I get a lot of people come down and they haven't even got the basics right. They're not making huge progress in being a good rider. They want to kind of buy a Ferrari, but they're only used to really driving a Nissan Micra. So I get a lot of problems, and they say, well, my coach says I'm ready for this, and my coach says that. Now, the problem is, a lot of the time, they become deluded. They haven't got the right information. Do you see where I'm coming from? Yeah. And they kind of, that's an issue for me right now. The basics are not even there, and they're trying to, so I have to help them understand that they're not ready, and bring them back a little bit and say, look, this is ready for you now, and later on, the Ferrari is there for you.
So you've got to be the Simon Cowell in the X Factor auditions. All these little kids are coming in saying they've got a voice of an angel, and because the nanas told them, and because the dads told them, and the moms told them, and basically the mom, dad, and nanas filled them full of shit because they're too scared to hurt the feelings.
Yeah, and no one wants to tell them the truth. And be honest with you, when they come to me, they get a little. I don't care what money you've got. If you're not right for that animal, my priority is the animal. Then it's me. Then it's them. And I always make sure that I place the right animal. And that's the problem in my industry. People buy they buy the wrong horse. Do you know what I mean? And they end up hurting themselves because they're not used to basically having that technical kind of horse. And it's my job to make sure that I pair the right person, just like it is with you as coaches to pair the right information. I've got to make sure that I have to tick a lot of boxes before they buy the horse.
Yeah. And imagine it's very similar. Like I ride a motorbike. And it's very, very much the same, isn't it? We're kind of riding. You got to know the capabilities of the bike. You got to know how to stop the bike. You got to know how to how to handle the bike. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm not like a super experienced rider or anything. Yeah. For me to jump on a big bike that's too tall for me, or something that I can't handle its weight or manage its power, is going to be fucking miles off. It's going to be the total wrong move for it to be. Well, even if I think I can. I may like, I can ride that. Of course I can ride that. I can ride that. I can ride that big monster there. I can ride that 2000cc. But you get on there and it's a whole fucking different story once you get on there.
Yeah. So with me, with business, I try and ask very good questions before they come down to me. I try and talk to their coaches to kind of see what their ability is, just to match everything up correctly. So 9 times out of 10, when they come to see me, the reason that my business is exploding at the moment is because the information they've been given is correct. I've paired them right with the right horse. They come down, they have a great experience, and then they're able to, progress hopefully with the sale. Yeah. So normally they're 50-60% there before they'd even touch my yard.
Yeah. Do you just have, just this from my own knowledge, to be quite honest with you, do you have like a pool of horses that you own, and then people come to say, I need a horse, Ben, this is...
So we buy some horses. We invest our money, our business money, into buying some horses. We also get people, like, if you own the horse, you'd ring me and say, look, can you sell it for me? And then you send it. It's called sales livery. You send it to me. And we also source horses for people. So you might ring me and say, Ben, my daughter wants X, Y, and Z. And then I'll go out and look. Because I get a lot of dads that haven't got a clue, right, about that they've got their daughter that's progressing. And I help them do that. But I mainly specialise in safe, sensible, all-round ability horses. So something can do a bit of everything.
Nice. Here's a question for you, completely off topic. Biggest achievement, personally and professionally?
Biggest achievement is turning my business into a monster 10 times, probably 12 or 13 times. Right?
I love that.
Personally, getting a handle on my mental health and being, just being the man I am today.
Nice. I like that a lot.
And they're very...
How good is that?
I hope they're not... I don't want to be vague on that. That's a big thing to say that. Not a lot of people can turn around and say they're very happy when they wake up in the morning. So it's very important.
Yeah, man. I like that a lot. You're going to say
you
something,
like that?
Lee?
No, I just like how simple and straight up and confident and powerful that statement is. And he didn't really have to explain it anymore. No. He did, but he didn't have to, because it says your language and how it was put across was like, this is it, straight up.
I could show you horses I've sold for a lot of money. I could show you bank accounts. I could show you property, cars, all that. But you know what? That's nothing to me being mentally happy and physically happy how I am today. And my business, listen, it's not all about money. It's about providing a very safe, sensible environment for horses to flourish and people to be able to come and for my business to grow. I mean, it literally has grown probably about 11, 12, 13 times since we last spoke.
Mental.
So just like very similar on that topic there. So you say it's not about money, it's about the horses and things. Yeah. It's not about keeping it on the kind of
business
line of, it's not about money.
Yeah.
What is life about? So not in terms of the horses and business there. Look, like it's not about money. What's life about?
I think if you find something that you love and makes you happy or hungry to learn more in, and I want to learn, I learn every day about being a better person within the horse industry. I think money is a secondary to that. So basically, if I serve you to a high level, when you come, like I had a client before this call, and I feel like I gave them 100% of my time, even though my arm's in pieces, and I made them feel happy, they had a great experience, and they left my yard. For me, the secondary to that is the money these days. So I think serving people to a good level and making sure that you're doing something you love is the first aspect of, and money will come after that.
Yeah, because there's that old Les Brown saying, I think it's Les Brown, where he says, what was it? Money doesn't make you happy, but everyone wants to find out for themselves. And a lot of people chase money to be happy. And that's like and obviously, even here from Paul as well, like when he said he made it and he was living in Marbella and he was the unhappiest he's ever been. That's very common in people who have made a successful business or have made a hell of a lot of money. It's very, very common for people to say, you know what, I'm actually unhappy with all that money because I've neglected everything else that's meant to be, or which is naturally important, shall we say? But
I think money is seen as, no one likes you to talk about it. But the fact is, we all need money to be able to create opportunities for our family and for our businesses. I enjoy making money, and I always will be. But it is not the first thing on my list anymore.
Yeah.
I hope you guys agree with that. Do you agree with that?
Definitely agree with that, mate. 100%. There's a quote I absolutely love, and it's, the man who needs nothing has everything. So the man who needs nothing has everything, right? And it's not saying, I don't need money, but if you realise, actually, I don't need all of this stuff to make me feel happy, then if you don't have anything or something ain't going your way or whatever, then you can still feel pretty decent. And that's what it's all about. And it's how you feel, what we said earlier. It's all about feeling.
Yeah, like I sell very good quality horses, right? That, some of them I look at and I think, God, I want to keep that one. It's like being a car trader. I love that one. I want to keep that one. I want that colour. I want this one. I want that one. And I love doing it. And it's really funny. My one is probably the naughtiest one of them all, right? And, it just matches. It's perfect for me. And he's not even expensive. He's not an expensive horse. But, today you threw me on the floor. But I love working with him. I love the horse. I love doing what I do. But, it does. I don't have to have the newest car, the newest pair of trainers. I just want to make sure that I'm mentally happy, and whatever that takes, I'll do.
Yeah, man. What do you do for fun, mate? What do you do to chill out?
I love the cinema. I love going to watch a movie. I love to be out. I'll be honest. I'm a bit of a fucking freak now. I love going out for dinner. I love socialising with the right people that make me think. That's it. Do you know what though? As I get older, I quite like just sitting in. I love my own company.
Same here, mate. Yeah, so do I. I found I'm a great guy. If I wasn't me, I would definitely be my mate.
I love sitting in. I enjoy sitting in. And what do you guys do for fun?
Fishing, mate. Fishing. I spend too much time on a riverbank.
Love that.
Love it. Fishing, barbecue, cook meat, have a fire, Guinness.
Do you go on your own or do you go with friends?
Sometimes on my own, yeah. There's three of us that go quite a lot together. Sometimes go on my own. It's nice on your own though. It's a different experience because it's just you. Yeah. Nothing to think about, no one to talk to. You can just chill, get perfectly present, look at everything and just,
Yeah. And Lee, what do you do for fun, mate?
I'm just thinking while I'm listening to here, I've got a fucking big list of things but when I'm scanning over my list, I'm noticing a lot of them are just natural things, right? Like things that we should naturally do. So like being out in nature, going for walks, moving, like having experiences, being around other people. Like a lot of these things all fall into that. Like I love going out on my bike, but I love going out on my bike because I'm out in nature and I'm experiencing. And
so
I'm
they're all linked.
People.
Yeah,
they're all linked to.
Yeah.
It like you got a plant there, right, just next to you, behind you.
Yeah.
Like we are. When you think about it, we are fucking like plants, really, aren't we? We're just like if we do the natural things, like fucking hydrate ourselves, or I don't obviously have a pint of water for fun, you know what I mean?
I'm not even going to say that. I surround myself with soil and feed myself water for fun.
I love my plant, right? That's my achievement.
Yeah. No, but if we're out in the sun, if we're out in nature as a plant does, we fucking love it. If we're surrounded by other fucking trees in nature, other people, we fucking love it. If we're doing natural things like things you would do if you had fuck all, like you got no money, you got no nothing, but there's always shit you can do, right? Most of those things are what's gonna. So if I could go down to the park and have a picnic now, I'd fucking love it. If I can go for a walk now, I'd bloody love it. Going to the cinema again it's an experience, and just disconnecting, and you're just sitting there. You're not really doing fucking nothing. You're just sitting there, but having an experience. And that plant's sitting there looking, saying, "Who the fuck's this Geordie cunt talking shit in front of me?" He's having a bloody experience. He's going to have a word with you, but then I'm noticing, just scanning my list, they're the things that make us happy. Like being with other people, going on date nights, going out having food with friends, same as you. I love lying in and fucking having cuddles on the settee. I love stroking and playing with my dog. Like as he runs in, he's jumping. Where was we going with that?
I know. What's he going to say? Hold on a minute.
I like stroking his belly, you know what I mean? And he'll run in and he'll flip over, and I love just scratching his belly, and he's like, he's pulling all these crazy faces. And it's just a natural thing. It's interacting with like animals, you know what I mean? Like that makes me feel fucking happy as hell. Yeah. Like
I love that.
And,
mate, I love that.
I do that for fun.
Good for you. And I think having that buffet of things that make you happy, or things that you enjoy doing, or things that you need to do, I think it's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, man, definitely. Last thing,
and again, using it though, because I have a happy list. I have a list that like feeds what I call feeds me soul.
I love that.
And I have a list that makes you happy, which could be more superficial and just gives us a kick up. I have things that feed me soul, where it's kind of it's like effortless, a bit more like flow state kind of things, where I'm just in the moment. I'm out of my head. I'm just enjoying life. I don't have to think. I have things like that. But you can have a list, but you got to fucking use it, right?
Use the fucking list.
You got to fucking, there's no good me having this happy list in here, or this soul list, or the list that fucking gives us energy or drains us. That they are pointless if I've got no energy and I don't refer to my list of things that makes us have energy. They are pointless.
Man. Yeah, so you're right. I'm going to butt in. Last thing, you're a busy man and you've got a broken arm. You're sat there for the last hour. Last bit of advice. Anyone who's listening to this, who maybe is in a bit of a hole, maybe is where you were back in the old days and that. What's one thing, couple of things, whatever, bit of advice that you would tell anyone who is in that position right now?
So for me personally, you need to get some help, and you need to be held accountable. And I would use guys like you guys to help them, whether it be physically or mentally, and get yourself on some form of a program. You know, you can always find the money for things that you value the most. And let's be honest, there'd be no better place to put your money than in someone like you guys for self-development.
Nice. Good answer, man. I love that.
Yeah, that's it's the truth. Listen, if I never invested that money and someone had gave it to me for free, I truthfully believe I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. And listen, this is a great opportunity for me to see how far I've come, right?
Yeah, mate, 100%.
Exactly.
I think also it's important to point out, like we have coaches at the moment, don't we? Part of a program at the moment. Exactly, just because we're in the game and we do it, doesn't mean we don't have help. I don't think I'll never not be part of some kind of program, coaching system.
It's a tribe, isn't it? It's a tribe of men.
Yeah, man.
You can fucking. We all want to do problem solving. We want help in all areas of our life. And you know what? That might be for someone right now at a later stage, but at the moment, it's the initial email, the initial Facebook kind of message to say, listen, can you help me? How could I possibly, work with you? Yeah.
Awesome. Ben Dunne, this has been an excellent chat, mate. I've had a great time. What are you saying about that, Lee?
It's been fucking mint. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do now with all this fucking energy I've got. I'm going to have a look at my energy drain list, because I've got to record 2 meditations after this. I'm going to have to drain myself back down so I can create these meditations.
It has been my absolute pleasure. It was not only my pleasure meeting you both when we spoke at the event that we saw each other at, but you know what? It's just to even just recap on everything. It's been amazing. I'm really grateful.
Top man.
Brilliant, man. Keep in touch.
If anyone needs a horse.
I know. And listen, if you want to buy a horse, if you ever want to buy a horse, you know where to come. And if you see me in a black cab, say hello. I'll be the one.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. There you go. That's been Ben Dunne. I'm Phil Hyland. That's Lee Hogarth. This is Does Contain Nuts. Peace.
Cheers, man.